Damn, this kitchen is clean. This kitchen is so clean.
Ground zero at Yutong, where Toronto was first introduced to that fiery wok-kissed poultry dish, chili chicken. That was 1986. And though most dishes have stayed the same, much is different. The venerable woks, seasoned with the wisdom of generations, have been gracefully passed down to the owner's daughters. The location has moved, eating behavior is drastically different, and survival in this new environment is, well, precarious. I'm here with Chef Eva Chin, expert on Chinese regional cuisine, to explore how the past is influencing the present.
5 woks?
We don't use 5 anymore.
What's standard in a Chinese restaurant? How many?
2 to 3. But if you have 3 wok cooks though, then that means they're really efficient. I would prefer a tighter team, but when my dad was here, we used to have like actually lines like going around the whole entire building. So the amount of business that we do now is like 25% of what they did before.
Why is that?
Because of like Uber Eats and all these like delivery. People are no longer staying within their neighborhood anymore, so now they're able to reach out further. And traffic.
Nobody wants to come, we're from the suburbs, nobody wants to come into downtown, right? Well, you were the first Hakka restaurant to hit Toronto. Has it revised much?
No, it's
still the same sauce?
Exactly.
If it's not the same, then we fucked it up.
The daughter's decision to leave their full-time professions was driven by a desire to maintain family tradition. Jeanette was a former TV journalist turned master of the front of the restaurant, and Joanna, an ex-marketing exec who now commands a kitchen with finesse.
What's the top 5 dishes people order here?
Chili chicken, Manchurian chicken, Cantonese chow mein, Hakka pork belly is really popular now. And number 5, chicken hot pot. I think our chickens are pretty popular.
What makes your chili chicken different, would you say?
We were the first ones to bring it into the city, and Dad put a lot of love into it. When he started, nobody else touched the chili chicken, so it was his own thing.
Dry or wet, is it? Or you could get both?
You could do both.
What's your favorite?
Mine is the dry.
Okay.
White meat, dry, extra onion. Yeah.
That's contrary to all.
I know.
No, you've been in Toronto too long.
First generation Indian immigrants, myself included, will attest that Hakka Indian food holds a special place in their heart, appearing on happy occasions, parties, get-togethers, that first time you got drunk and tasted it going in and coming out. Its mere mention brought a rush of excitement.
So this originally used to be a restaurant called Guangzhou, one of the first 4 restaurants in Toronto that were Chinese, by a woman named Eugene Lum, and she was the first person to get indicted into the Governor General Award, because she was the first person who brought like Chinese immigrants into Canada. You know the Chinese Exclusion Act? Where like
yes,
we got a head tax?
Yeah.
Yes. So she helped prevent that.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're in her spot, so it's a really, really big deal. So historically, this is one of the only original Chinatown buildings from the 40s.
Wait up. Canada, the beacon of diversity, perhaps the most immigrant-friendly nation in the world? Not in 1923, when Canada, in all its xenophobic glory, barred Chinese immigrants from entering the country. The Prejudicial Act, via the Chinese Immigration Act, kept loved ones apart from one another. It hindered community growth and threw a wrench in the gears of economic equality. Fortunately, Chinese Canadians challenged this discriminatory statute and forced its repeal in 1947.
I saw you mention that a few times. Wok cooking is a specialized skill.
Yes. The problem with North America right now is that we don't teach Chinese cooking.
Yeah,
it's not in the curriculum, so there are a lot of professors that we know who are trying to change that at the moment, but that's why we have a very limited supply of people who want to do it. And also, it's a, I think, misconception for young cooks that a Chinese restaurant is very difficult, that we're not open to teaching people, that the techniques are very different, but it's easy to learn. You just have to have the heart to do it.
Look at these welcoming faces. Would they scare you? No, absolutely not. Come, learn.
I would say that this one is more Indo-Chinese. It is Indo-Chinese, actually. So a lot of Hakka people left China. India was a colony of England, and it was a hub for a lot of merchants. So we went there. And we already had like chicken dishes from China, like we have Sichuan peppercorn, but it's very different. So when they went to India, they had to appease the Indian palate. So then they introduced chili chicken, and then they used spices that were there. So Thai green chilies, and then just Spanish onions, and then a sambal alec, which is like a chili paste.
Is there any Indian spices in this dish?
No, not at all. So this is kind of like what Chinese or Hakka people thought Indian people would like to eat there.
Gotcha.
This is also a Hakka Indian dish, but it's not tailored for an Indian palate, it's tailored for a Chinese palate. So we call it Feng Mi Mian, Hong Mei, which is basically like a sweetened soy sauce.
Never heard of that. What kind of noodles is this?
This is Shanghai Noodle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we get this one made for us. It's not as round, so we make it a little bit flatter, just so that it picks up the sugars.
I like it thinner.
So Jeanette and I grew up on that noodle.
I can see how it could appease a kid's palate because it has a little sweetness in it, like you were saying.
But with the chili chicken together, the sweet and the spicy is like...
The mouthfeel of the noodles is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like nice and chewy.
Yes.
It has a beautiful chew to it.
And then snow pea leaves, very like Cantonese dish, so a regular Chinese stir fry, I think. So the great thing I think about Cantonese food is just very mild, and you don't need much to flavor their dishes at all. It's super simple. So that's what we have over here. That one is pork belly. So that one's a very Hakka dish as well too. I would say probably like the most authentic that we have here. So Hakka people moved all to different parts of the world, so they needed meats that would preserve well, so fatty dishes. So like Hakka dishes, I think at the core of it is just very, very meaty.
This is cooked with the special pickle, right?
Yes.
Mei Tai is not just used in Hakka cuisine, it's used in Southern Cantonese cuisine. It is actually the stem of mustard greens. Specifically, Mei Tai Xing, that's what they call it. And they salt it and sugar it and cure it, packed in a clay pot. And then after that, whenever we want to use it, we rinse it out, we chop it up, and it just brings out all the earthiness of it.
So have you guys ever had a mindset where you're like, what did we get ourselves into?
Yeah.
Has it been like, let's throw it in the towel, and you've had to provide support for each other and be like, let's just make it through? Do you guys work like that, like motivating partners?
I think I've had more crises than Jeanette has.
But what keeps you going? There has to be a purpose or a driving force.
There was always an underlying force, and I didn't know what it was, and then because it's home for me. The restaurant is just a legacy for us, but more so it's more home. It's like all we've ever known.
It beats you up sometimes, but it's okay,
It's like when my mom's like, oh, I'm gonna throw away this big closet. Wait. We grew up with that closet. Yeah, hide and seek in that closet.
In an age where kids aspire for YouTube stardom and avoid getting their hands dirty, the two sisters are championing a different kind of existence, emphasizing the importance of family and preserving of culture. Hey, I'm not saying innovation and change is a bad thing, but a culinary landscape devoid of mom and pop culinary traditions is quite frankly a desolate place. Somewhere I wouldn't want to live in. Time will tell if Jeanette and Joanna's passion, strategy, and innovation will help them survive in this unforgiving industry. But I, for one, am rooting for them.